Ukrainian special forces destroy Russian observation post and capture 5 soldiers in Sumy.
Выстрел!
The Ukrainian Special Operations Forces have successfully carried out a targeted raid against a Russian observation post in the Sumy sector, resulting in the destruction of the position and the capture of 5 Russian servicemen, according to military sources and operational footage released by Ukrainian forces. The operation was conducted by a Ukrainian sabotage and reconnaissance unit operating along the border areas of Sumy Oblast, where Russian and Ukrainian forces continue to engage in reconnaissance activities, artillery exchanges, and localized combat operations. The mission represents another example of Ukraine's ongoing efforts to disrupt Russian military capabilities and degrade enemy intelligence gathering assets near the northern border. According to available reports, Ukrainian reconnaissance personnel identified a forward Russian observation post that had been actively monitoring the movements of Ukrainian defense forces operating in the area. The position was reportedly being used not only for surveillance purposes, but also for directing artillery fire against Ukrainian targets, making it a significant component of Russian battlefield operations in the sector. The military sources indicate that the Ukrainian unit spent time gathering intelligence on the position before launching the raid. After assessing enemy activity and identifying potential approaches, the reconnaissance team moved toward the objective under the cover of terrain and concealment, seeking to maintain the element of surprise. Footage released following the operation reportedly shows Ukrainian special forces advancing toward the Russian position and carrying out the assault. The soldiers involved in the mission are said to have approached the observation post undetected, allowing them to rapidly gain control of the situation before the Russian personnel could effectively organize a defense. Once the assault began, the Russian servicemen stationed at the observation post found themselves at a significant disadvantage. Military reports suggest that the defenders were unable to mount effective resistance against the Ukrainian troops, who had already secured key positions around the site. Faced with a deteriorating tactical situation and recognizing that further resistance would likely prove futile, 5 Russian soldiers laid down their weapons and surrendered to the Ukrainian forces. The prisoners were subsequently taken into custody in accordance with standard military procedures. The successful capture of enemy personnel is considered particularly valuable from an intelligence perspective. Prisoners of war can provide information regarding unit composition, operational objectives, command structures, logistical conditions, and troop deployments. Such information may assist military planners in understanding enemy activities and preparing future operations in the region. In addition to the capture of the 5 servicemen, Ukrainian forces reportedly neutralized the observation post itself, removing a surveillance asset that had been used to track Ukrainian troop movements and coordinate artillery fire. The loss of the position may temporarily reduce Russian situational awareness in that section of the front and complicate efforts to direct indirect fire against Ukrainian targets operating near the border. Meanwhile, a soldier from Ukraine's 25th Syczeslaw Separate Airborne Brigade successfully destroyed a Russian attack drone with small arms fire after it attempted to target a Ukrainian unmanned ground vehicle during a logistics mission. The incident took place within the operational area of the 7th Corps of the Ukrainian Armed Forces Airborne Assault Troops, highlighting both the growing role of robotic systems on the battlefield and the continued importance of individual soldier initiative. According to Ukrainian military sources, a Russian Zydun drone was deployed to intercept and disrupt a routine resupply operation being conducted by a ground-based robotic complex. The unmanned vehicle was transporting essential supplies to frontline positions held by Ukrainian paratroopers. As the drone approached its target, a Ukrainian soldier spotted the threat and immediately engaged it with small arms fire. Video footage released by the military shows the Russian UAV being struck multiple times before exploding in mid-air. Military officials reported that the drone initially focused its attack on the robotic logistics platform. However, after coming under fire, the UAV altered its course and attempted to attack the Ukrainian servicemen who had engaged it. Despite the change in direction, the drone was unable to reach its target and was destroyed before it could inflict any damage. The successful interception eliminated the threat and ensured the continuation of the supply mission. Following the drone's destruction, the unmanned ground vehicle continued its route and delivered the necessary supplies to Ukrainian defensive positions. The incident underscores the increasing integration of robotic systems into Ukrainian military operations, particularly for logistics tasks in high-risk areas. It also demonstrates the effectiveness of vigilance and rapid response by frontline troops in countering aerial threats, even with standard infantry weapons. As both sides continue to expand their use of unmanned technologies, encounters between aerial drones and ground robotic systems are becoming an increasingly common feature of the battlefield. In this case, quick action by a Ukrainian paratrooper ensured that a critical resupply mission reached its destination despite enemy interference. At the same time, the Ukrainian border guard units operating along the Kursk and northern Slobozhansky fronts have successfully struck Russian personnel and military assets, inflicting losses on enemy forces and disrupting their operational capabilities. According to official reports, border guards from the Steel Border Brigade utilized FPV drones to target Russian positions in the Kursk sector. The precision drone strikes resulted in the elimination of 2 Russian occupiers. In addition to neutralizing enemy personnel, Ukrainian defenders destroyed a range of Russian military equipment and infrastructure. The reported losses include 1 artillery gun, 2 communication antennas, a Zydun drone, and a ground-based robotic system. The operation also targeted enemy logistical and defensive positions. Ukrainian forces destroyed 2 shelters used by Russian troops and eliminated 2 ammunition depots, dealing a further blow to the enemy's ability to sustain combat operations in the area. The successful strikes highlight the growing effectiveness of Ukrainian drone warfare capabilities and the continued efforts of border guard units to weaken Russian military presence along active sectors of the front. Military officials emphasized that operations aimed at identifying and destroying enemy personnel, equipment, and supply infrastructure remain ongoing as Ukrainian forces continue to defend national territory and counter Russian aggression.
Пострел!
Выстрел!
Зараз віду вироблю.
газу!